Thank you very much for tuning in to Dr. Copperchop's Concoctions. I'm here with Zuki Suicide, and we are going to do a review of Mead and Viking Metal. Now, two recent editions just came out as far as Finnish folk metal. Finntroll came out back in March, and Amon Amarth's Deceiver of the Gods came out June 25th. I really feel that both of these albums are both bands' greatest contributions so far. Now, I had you listen to a little bit of Finntroll and had you listen to a little bit of Amon Amarth as we were hanging out. What'd you think?
Honestly, I love Finntroll, but just because it sounds like a little bit more groovy, and it has, like you said, a lot of different instruments put into it. So, like I said before, they're multi-talented. It seems like they have a lot of. It's not just every song sounds exactly the same. You know what I mean? It seems like they're branching and doing a lot of different stuff, and using a lot of different instruments to give it a lot more of a groovy, upbeat, but still metal, deep sound.
Absolutely. So. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Finntroll, they are folk metal from Finland who sing in Swedish to make their lyrics sound more troll-like. They literally dress up as trolls on stage with prosthetic ears and sometimes tree branches and whatever they can get a hold of. But they play a kind of style of metal that they title humpa metal, kind of like polka metal. And it's like a deranged circus, and it's fantastic. Whereas to Amon Amarth, strict Viking metal to the fullest degree that they can get to. Now, what do you think of Amon Amarth?
I love the sound of it. Like you said, it's full blown just metal. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. It's just straight raw. You can hear everything so crisp, but it still just gets you you just want to be a Viking.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I love about Viking metal and folk metal is the fact that it inspires you to just I want to ride a dragon and just grab a broadsword and start decapitating people.
It at people.
And one of the greatest inspirations in alcoholic liquid form is mead. Back in the day, true historic Vikings would drink mead before going into battle so they wouldn't feel any pain and just have a good time cutting through people on their way to Valhalla. Now, the two meads that I've chosen today is Moonlight Meadery's Desire and Chaucer's Raspberry Mead. Now, the Chaucer Raspberry Mead you can find at the Arizona Renaissance Festival. It usually does sell out pretty quick because it is so good. So let's get drinking. This is the Chaucer's Raspberry Mead. Cheers! So what do you think?
I think it's very dangerous because it's too smooth.
Too smooth?
It's good though.
That's the one thing that I love about mead, because it's made with honey instead of grapes, but it's still fermented. Is that it's super smooth, and we are working with 10% alcohol. Granted, it's not the same as the 12 to 13 you usually get with wine, but then the Moonlight Mead, 16%. So we're going to have a good time tonight.
That's gonna be fun.
So here we are finishing off the Chaucer's Raspberry Mead. And we just popped open the Moonlight Desire. Oh, God, that is so good. Now, what got you into metal?
The first metal band that I ever listened to was Demo, and
Dimmu Borgir.
Yeah, and it was one of those things kind of we're just driving around and we want to do something that piss people off in a parking lot, so we just turned it on and blast it. Ever since then, it's really snowballed from there, and going to the East Coast music scene, going to a lot of metal bands and local shows, and when Job for a Cowboy was just starting off, and seeing them in the basement churches and stuff like that.
Job for a Cowboy being local boys from Phoenix.
Yeah. Great guys. But other than that, it was something that I've always really been into. I was raised around, rock-ish, lifestyle anyway, and then it just snowballed into going to different metal shows and, touring and going and seeing all these local bands and other bands on tour at the same time. So it's been awesome.
Now, recently, I was lucky enough to check out Decrepit Birth playing at Rocky Point Cantina, and Solar Impulse played, as well as Singularity. Both bands will be appearing on the show at some point. Alright, now we're going to break into the Moonlight Meadery Desire, as we're listening to some Finntroll. Now this has hints of black currant, black cherry, and blueberry, so let's give this a shot.
This doesn't taste as like alcohol-y as I thought it was going to with having the higher alcohol content. Definitely think this one's more dangerous.
Yeah. This one, while not as smooth as the raspberry mead from Chaucer, still just as tasty. You get all of those hints of the blueberry, the black cherry, the black currant, and it's, as you can tell, I'm already starting to get a little tipsy, and it's good. I'm just gonna keep drinking. All right, now that we've completely exhausted our mead supply, except for this last little bit, which I'm probably gonna save for a little bit, we greatly enjoyed our mead. Zuki, what'd you think?
I think it's amazing.
Remember, Finntroll is out now. Their new album, Blodsvept, as well as Amon Amarth's Deceiver of the Gods, out as well. And enjoy.